All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the We Book It podcast. This is your Elimination Chamber reaction video. Your boy here, Virgil. I've done this a time or two, not quite often, but I'm gonna actually not be a part of tomorrow's show, the Sunday Stunner. So, because of that, and just because I had some things I wanted to get off my chest, some things I was thinking about, so I really, like I said, wanted to take a moment, kind of clear my thoughts, clear the table, kind of just put this on wax. Whoever watches this, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and for watching. But just some thoughts I had about wrestling and about the state of WWE, as well as the state of the road to WrestleMania and WrestleMania as a whole. So I'm going to start this off, obviously, 4-match card that happened, in a shocker, honestly, to me, because I really expected her to be going after the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, and I expected Tiffany Stratton to be going after the WWE Women's Championship. It's going to be Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania. She won the Elimination Chamber match. It came down to her and Tiffany Stratton being the last two. Raquel Rodriguez looked dominant in the match. But again, like I said, she fell, which is really weird because she's had such a damn good year, and you can't put her in any other match. Where else can you put her? So you're basically going to have her once again be Big Mommy Cool and be the muscle for none other than Liv Morgan, who eventually will take the women's world title away from Stephanie Vaquer. I don't know if it'll be at Mania, but she will eventually take that championship away from her, and whether by hook or by crook. And then obviously Raquel will probably end up cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase in order to win that women's world championship from Liv Morgan, stabbing her in the back and essentially ending her tenure in the Judgment Day. Even though the group will probably still be going strong, even though I assume somehow there will be a breakup. But after that, we had the we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, which, to my surprise, because I full on expected Becky to win this match since she has not yet beaten AJ Lee since AJ Lee returned. AJ Lee actually gets her to tap out again, basically becoming Becky Lynch's Achilles heel. Becky Lynch will fight her again, probably at WrestleMania, for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I would not mind if you got multiple people involved in that match. That way AJ Lee loses, but doesn't necessarily have to lose to Becky. Or you can do a submission match at Mania where Becky finally gets that monkey off her back and makes AJ Lee tap out to disarm her. Then, of course, like I said, you have next up the World Heavyweight Championship match, Finn Balor versus CM Punk. Probably the most interesting match of the night. If I'm being honest with you, from a standpoint of it moves slow. It was not quick pace like it should have been. It should have been more of a Finn Balor match, but he kind of dumbed it down to play to CM Punk's strengths, who's a ground and pound type of wrestler. Pause. He's a guy, like I said, though, that's going to try to slow the match down, work at his style, and they worked CM Punk's style of match instead of really up tempo the way that Finn Balor matches normally go. I do suspect Finn Balor will be kicked out of the Judgment Day here shortly, in very short order, for shaking CM Punk's hand and for doing the right thing, obviously, even after you attacked him last time. So babyface Finn Balor is on the way. I'll address where I think we go on the road to WrestleMania after I give you all the updates. Then last but not least, we have the main event, which was the men's. Oh, sorry. the bullshit reveal of who was in the box. It was Danenhausen, and I'm like, however you say that dude's name, Danenhausen, however you say his name. Underwhelming. Chicago booed the hell out of him, which I love my city so much. I am a Chicago win to Chicago win till we feel like Chicago is in, and I am thankful that they booed that man. Fuck him. And fuck Triple H for putting him in that box. It was boring. It was anticlimactic. It was not what I wanted to see or what I cared to see for that matter. Um, again, I'll get to it. I'll get to my grievances in a bit. Anyways, moving on from there, we go to the men's elimination chamber match. Had a great showing. Javon Evans didn't go as crazy as I thought he was going to go in this match, but kid's only 21. He'll have many more elimination chamber matches in his future. Hopefully, if he stays not getting injured. So like I said, he'll have plenty more matches, plenty more opportunity to show his stuff. Trick Williams got the biggest pop of the night. I love this little his little roller entrance thing where they rolled him around or whatnot. I mean, the crowd went crazy. I had friends at the event. They said the crowd was loud as hell for him. Probably he got the second loudest pop outside of. I loved how Michael Cole. Also, just to back up, I love how Michael Cole and them tried to really sell it like AJ Lee is also a hometown favorite. Like, bruh. She's not from Chicago. She lives in Chicago now with CM Punk because that's where CM Punk lives. But she's not from Chicago and she's not a Chicagoan. She is from New Jersey. She's a New Jersey. Leave it at that. She don't try to give it a hometown pop or nothing like that. Like they put the little Dodge Ram, little meter on the side and stuff, trying to sell you like the crowd's going crazy for AJ Lee. Like it was a normal pop for AJ Lee. It was not like, oh my God. Like the CM Punk's entrance was great. I love the Chicago Bulls serious old school 90s entrance with the old school 90s announcer. That was a really nice touch. He had on Chicago Blackhawk gear, theme CM Punk gear. That was beautiful. Shout out to CM Punk for always showing love to the city. AJ Lee is from New Jersey. She's not from Chicago. She's not a Chicagoan, and she don't get a Chicagoan pop. She has a nice pop because people are excited that she's back in wrestling after 10 plus years, and of course, winning her first championship in 10 plus years. Congratulations, AJ Lee. She's not a Chicagoan, and don't try to sell her like that. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Trick Williams got the second loudest pop of the night, and it was great, man. He did his thing. Like I said, kudos to him. Trick Williams is a star on the horizon. And they really they got shot in the foot in this Mania because I really felt like they had an opportunity with booking this Mania to really put the emphasis and the spotlight on the talent they've been building in NXT for the past 5 to 6 years, climaxing with the coronation of Braun Breaker as the guy moving into the future, giving him the second tier championship, that world heavyweight title. Coincidentally enough, as things will have it, injuries happen. The injury to Seth happens. The injury to Braun happens, and plans just get all flubbed up. So with that being said, instead you're getting, old reliable, old faithful, Roman Reigns put into the main event of WrestleMania to fight CM Punk, which again, the tickets they sell. Great. Kudos to them. They will sell a lot of tickets. I looked online. There were tickets left and available. I looked online at 12:30. There were tickets left and available. But when Michael Cole went on air, he said that the United Center was sold out, 19,000 plus, the second largest gate, according to CM Punk, that WWE has done. And again, I understand that they're cool with breaking all these records with gates, but that's another issue too that I will get with them later on. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I found myself, hyped. Actually, I will be honest with you. What the one thing that hyped me up, because I really thought WWE was going to do the fuckboy shit and they were going to give Cody Rhodes the win over Randy Orton in Elimination Chamber. But the chamber door stayed open. So we go through a bunch of eliminations. And finally, Trick Williams is eliminated, and Trick Williams is hurt. He's feigning the injury. He's hurt, right? So Logan Paul eliminates 3 guys, and he has 3 guys left to eliminate. 2 guys, left to be eliminated, and that being Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So as he looks to himself, one of Seth Rollins, probably one of the guys from his school, starts climbing up the cage. Now, we think that this is the guy that's normally been up there, and Michael Cole and them are totally playing into it. Guy climbs the cage or whatnot, which was stupid because you can't get in the cage anyways. But again, it was a diversion. So he's climbing the cage. Obviously the police come, they escort him out, and Theory goes out with them. That's a key part in this. So after all of that commotion, finally they roll Trick Williams out the ring. Trick Williams is out the ring. Now, mind you, the cage door is still open. So obviously, after all of that commotion, after they finally get Trick Williams out the ring, there's nobody there except for one referee in the ring. Out of nowhere, from underneath the stairs, comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out, curb stomps. Well, he doesn't reveal himself as Seth Rollins at first, but anyway, spoiler alert, is Seth Rollins. He comes out, curb stomps the hell out of Logan Paul, and then, like I said, Cody Rhodes rolls over, pins him, and like I said, after that, Seth Rollins reveals himself that, hey, yeah, it's me, Seth Rollins. I just cost him that. Paul Heyman is over on the other side of the cage. They have a camera right there by him. Perfect shot of Paul, and he's screaming his ass off, no, no. And like I said, Seth Rollins looks at Cody Rhodes, and then after that, walks out the ring. So, great moment right there. Great shot. You see him looking at Cody, but you also see him looking past Cody, and he's looking at none other than Paul Heyman, who was screaming his head off over another side. Seth Rollins walks out the cage. After that, Cody Rhodes rolls around. Him and Randy Orton are the last two left, and the question then becomes, can Randy Orton do it? So one thing that they were really selling tonight with Elimination Chamber when it comes to Randy Orton is that he's had these issues with Aleister Black, where Aleister Black has been saying, you've lost your edge, you've lost the ability to, do what it takes to need to be done. You've lost that Viper, that guy that would do whatever to win. You've lost that mentality because you won't take out Cody Rhodes. Well, tonight went a long way in proving that may not be the case. Michael Cole even said it at the end of the match. But anyways, as Cody Rhodes gets up and he's getting ready to try to beat Randy Orton out of nowhere. Mind you, the cage door is still open. Seth Rollins didn't close the cage behind him. The ref never closes the cage. That cage is still wide open. So you see out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre show up and get involved in the cage match, turn around, hit Cody Rhodes with that WWE champion, hits him, and then, like I said, hits him with an RKO. After him and Cody do a double team on Drew, hits him with an RKO. 1, 2, 3, and Drew McIntyre cost Cody Rhodes his opportunity at WrestleMania. And for what it's worth, Randy Orton takes advantage of the moment and the distraction and pins Cody Rhodes after he hits him with an RKO. And I was so hyped for that because I really thought that they were going to do the safe spot. I felt they did the safe thing all last year when they kept having Cody win. Cody did not need to win the King of the Ring. Cody went into Royal Rumble, went into Elimination Chamber, went into all of these different things with the WWE Championship. And then obviously, like I said, once he lost the WWE Championship, he was still highly touted. If it's Cody that is going to management and saying, hey, I need to start losing, I need to go on a crazy losing streak, kudos to Cody Rhodes for being so fucking self-aware that he realizes that sometimes it's okay to lose. To coin the phrase from Sting says that losing is good. Losing needs to happen. You need to lose. And like I said, it's almost like nowadays guys don't want to lose. Guys don't want to put somebody else over. The whole reason Drew McIntyre is WWE champion right now is because of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes told them, he had been pushing since that stupid ass WrestlePalooza event, I need to drop the title. I need to be in the title chase. I don't need to always have the championship. I mean, the fans, like I said, the fans and the people are tired of seeing Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship. It was great to see him close the story. It was great. Basically, we've been on a 5-year odyssey with Cody Rhodes, starting back to Dallas. Dallas WrestleMania when he returned all the way up until now. And like I said, he finished the story. We're all happy for him. We're happy to see him do his first WWE Championship title run. Honestly, I was okay with his second WWE title run. I mean, it got a little stale there, but there's so much talent in WWE that the top gets crowded. There's things other people wanted to see. Now, granted, kudos to those that have stepped aside. John Cena retired. He won his 17th championship. He's gone. AJ Styles retired. He like I said, he could have won another WWE championship. There were people clamoring to see AJ Styles be WWE champion one more time before he retires, but he's gone. So you look at all of this and you say to yourself, you know, there's multiple opportunity for guys at the top. Not only do you have those that are in their twilight that are getting ready to ride off into the sunset, such as Randy Orton, but then you look at the new influx of talent. You have guys like, you know, like Obafemi. You have guys like Javon Evans. I don't think Javon Evans will be WWE champion probably until he's like 25. And you got guys like, you know, freaking, you know, Trick Williams. You got guys like, you know, like Mello. Don't make no mistake about it. Between Mello, between Dragunov, those guys are going to be Triple H's guys of the future. Now, both of those guys will be United States champion. But you got guys there. And you're still going to have guys that make it over from the AEW side that will eventually come over to WWE. Royce Keys being one of them. So, like I said, I mean, there's an influx of talent here. And the way Triple H books these pay-per-views, you could have squeezed in 2 more matches for 2 more feuds that just made sense, that could have been shorter matches. Now, again, like I said, a 6-match card isn't overkill. A 8, 9, 10, 13 match card, that's overkill. You don't have to have 13 matches and every month. That's how people get tired. But there are people that are just on ice. I sent out a tweet where I said, I miss the Street Profits. Those dudes are just sitting on ice. I miss the Motor City Machine Guns. I think they're doing stuff in Mexico right now. Like, come on, man. Like there are things and stories and people that could be in the mix right now getting TV time. But instead, we're still stuck with doing this fucking thing with the damn vision that, I mean, great. It's great that Seth is back. It's great that Seth will more than likely probably appear at WrestleMania. I'm cool with it. But this vision storyline is snake bitten. This whole vision storyline ended up being rushed because Seth got injured. And then Braun's turn, Braun was supposed to get the Batista turn, where he eventually won at Mania and turned on all of them and won at Mania. Braun was supposed to get that Batista turn. And the fans were kind of clamoring for it. He's an ass kicker. We see it. We get it. We get the vision. We get what it's supposed to be. But it's snake bitten. Bronson is now injured. So now you're stuck with Theory and you're stuck with Paul. So from this, y'all, I just let's kind of reshuffle the deck here on what WrestleMania looks like. WrestleMania right now, what it looks like it's pending to be. Obviously, your World Heavyweight Championship match, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, will close out night 2. There are a plethora of ideas of what could happen for Mania with the WWE Championship, and I'll get to that. We know for sure Jay versus Rhea for the WWE Women's Championship, which totally fucks Io Sky. You have linked this girl with Rhea Ripley all year long since Rhea lost the Women's World Championship, and now she has nothing. Nothing. You're going to sit her on the sideline all year now unless she finally gets her comeuppance against the Kabuki Warriors. But that don't even make sense because the Kabuki Warriors, I think you're going to link up for the Women's Tag Team Championships. So who is Io going to partner with now? The booking doesn't make sense is where I'm getting at with that. Anyways, and again, maybe things will become clear. Finn Balor shook CM Punk's hand, essentially beginning his babyface turn here at Elimination Chamber. he will be going against Dom for the IC championship. That's a given. And he will take that IC championship away from Dom Mysterio. Like I said, essentially beginning his Intercontinental Championship run as a babyface again, which I don't hate. He can make that championship very much more relevant than Dom Mysterio can. Dom Mysterio was a great champion in a sense of a heel champion. He was a guy that would do anything to keep the belt. And, there's something to be said about that. I don't hate that type of heel. However, it's ran its course. And Dom Mysterio is poised to be one of the biggest baby faces in the future. I mean, his pop last year when he first won that IC championship was great. But Dom Mysterio is another one that's been fucking injured. And maybe this is part of why WrestleMania has lost its luster. But Dom Mysterio holding on to that championship and not being stripped of that belt and barely defending that or that AAA championship really pisses me the fuck off. Like, it just does. It's like, dude, like, if you can't defend the belt, do something else with it. And I'm not saying do a belt on a pole match. I'm not saying go to the lengths of a battle royal every single time somebody gets snake bitten with an injury. But God dog it, man. Like, stop letting these guys with these minimal 2 to 3 month injuries hold on to championships. You can't keep doing that, Triple H. It devalues the belt. Speaking of which, what the fuck are we going to do about Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso? Jimmy Uso that's literally stated he only wants to be a tag team wrestler. He has no ambition to be a singles competitor. He's not trying to win the U.S. championship. He's not trying to go on a run like his brother. He wants to be a tag team wrestler. His tag team wrestling is in his blood. He said it. He meant it. He said that shit on ESPN. He meant it. But you had Jay taken out of the chamber match. Now somebody mysteriously, took him out. So maybe Jimmy goes on a rampage trying to figure out for the next couple of weeks just who took his brother out. Since we finally debunked 2 issues with who's in the crate and who's a part of who's been the guy that's been taking out the members of the Vision. So now we have the mystery of who took out Jay Uso. We still don't know who took out Jacob Fatu, and we still don't know what's going to happen with Jacob Fatu. I'm assuming Jacob Fatu finds his way into the Fatal 4-Way WWE Championship match, or it could get even more interesting and be a Fatal 5-Way WWE Championship match. Because hear me out. This is so convoluted, but this is what I believe is going to end up happening. Drew's the champion, right? So I have to draw this in a damn diagram so I can even say it. Drew, champion, right? Drew has fucked over Cody Rhodes. Both those men will be in the WWE Championship match because Drew McIntyre cannot leave those two alone. It's always something between those two. And Cody and Jacob have had their own separate issues, so that makes sense. Randy Orton won the Elimination Chamber, so he automatically gets into WrestleMania. He's in the main event against Drew McIntyre, night 1. Here's the issue. Cody and Randy are friends, but Randy wants title win number 15. Cody wants to prove he is the QB1 of WWE and of all of wrestling. So he needs to be in the WWE Championship title picture if that's the case. Randy and Drew have fought tooth and nail for the WWE Championship for years. Here's the outlier. Sami Zayn, who has been saying he wants to be a world champion. He wants to be the WWE champion. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes have had their share of issues lately. They've shook hands. Cody Rhodes has also went the fuck off on Sami Zayn, told him it's his fault. He has cost Cody Rhodes the championship. Drew and Sami went against each other at the Royal Rumble. Sami lost. So Sami's only claim to getting into the match would have to be this Friday when he gets involved and costs Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship. So there's two ways this can go. You can either, if you're Nick Aldis, set up a fatal five-way WWE Championship match, which I don't like the thought process of a fatal five-way. And here's my only problem with it. I like it when it's even numbers. So if it's a fatal four-way 2-2, guys are fighting each other. If it's a fatal five-way, guys have to then turn around and there's going to be an uneven number. Somebody's going to be on the outside fucked up. I would almost rather a six-pack challenge versus a fatal five-way. So you could get interesting. And you could add Trick Williams to that WWE Championship match because he has had problems with not only Sami Zayn, but also Cody Rhodes. So the WWE title picture right now is convoluted as hell. You can very well just do this. Drew versus Randy for the WWE Championship. Cody versus Sami for in a match. And it works. Sami Zayn finally turns heel, does whatever he needs to do to beat Cody Rhodes, beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes continues his losing streak. And in fact, you have Michael Cole start really mentioning the fact that, damn, Cody Rhodes has been losing a lot lately. But if you do that, where do you put Jacob Fatu and where do you put Trick Williams? Now, the thought process with Jacob Fatu is you still got to figure out who the hell took out Jacob Fatu because Drew still has not copped to that. And we still really don't know. We still don't know who actually took out Jacob Fatu all those months ago. So you could easily say, okay, it was Trick Williams who wasn't even a part of on the SmackDown roster yet that took him out. Or you can get creative. You can, make it somebody on the outside that took him and took Jey Uso out. You can get creative like that. Or, see, it's all convoluted. The WWE Championship title picture is all convoluted. You could have Jacob answer Brock Lesnar's open challenge. So let's stick to a five. Okay, so after that, so we know we got Finn Balor and Dom Mysterio for the IC title. You got Jade and Rhea. You got AJ versus Becky rematch for the IC championship. Stephanie and Liv is a done deal for the world title, women's world title. Seth, I'm predicting Seth and one of his students. Oh, no. That's what the fuck they're going to do with LA Knight. LA Knight's going to end up being Seth Rollins' tag team partner against Theory and Logan, which in turn turns Seth babyface, and LA Knight's going to have to ask, can he trust Seth Rollins? And the whole your dig is going to be, can you really trust Seth Rollins? So that's what LA Knight's doing. It's LA Knight and Rollins versus the Vision. I hate this. I hate this for LA Knight. I'm so disgusted with his booking. I would almost rather him go back to TNA and just be Eli Drake again. Please. All right. Oba's going to answer Brock's challenge then. Here's my thought process, though. Here's my real question. So here are the people that I have listed as the no dance partners. Alexa and Charlotte, I'm assuming, will go against Lash Legend and Nia Jax now for the women's tag team championships at Mania, which I don't hate that. But then there's the women's U.S. championship, and you keep seeing Alexa and Julia kind of look at each other crazy, and Kiana James is also a part of that. So could we do a triple threat women's tag team title match? Alexa and Charlotte versus Lash and Nia versus okay. I could see that. So you'll do a triple threat tag team title match. Where you will feature Lash and Nia, Alexa and Charlotte, and Kiana and Julia. Here's the problem. Julia has the freaking Women's United States Championship match, a Women's United States Championship. I propose Alexa Bliss should beat her for that title 3 weeks from now on SmackDown. You need to keep things fresh. You also need to have Charlotte kind of start noticing. If you notice something, Charlotte's on a downturn because Charlotte needs attention, y'all. She does. She just does need attention. Like, she can't help herself. Like, she's still Charlotte Flair deep down the inside. As much as Alexa Bliss has humanized her and all the pictures of her and her daughter and, you know, all of these things like that. And she's Auntie Shar, and her and Alexa Bliss are like sisters. Lexi's her best friend. She calls her Lexi. She don't even call her Alexa. She calls her Lexi. You know, it's great. It's beautiful. At the end of the day, she is still a Flair. And Flair's gonna flare. She has a flair for the gold. Anyways, so she'll be side-eyeing that United States Championship. She'll also be looking at Jade. Unless, hear me out on this, Alexa and Julia have their own thing set up, and somehow, oh no, sorry, my damn Alexa thing over here listening. Alexa's always listening, y'all. I hate when she does that. Anyways, unless the other idea is to do Alexa Bliss and Julia, and somehow Charlotte Flair finds herself into that match with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. And I don't know how you do that, but they keep teasing Jade and Charlotte. And I mean, it's a big money match. It makes sense. But you start getting convoluted with all of these multi-person matches trying to get all of this done. So, and then, okay, here's my other problem. The Bellas. WWE did not bring back Brie Bella in order for her and Nikki Bella to miss WrestleMania. They're not missing WrestleMania. So you look at the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Maybe it's the Bellas versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team Championships, because they're trying to make the Bellas be over with the fans. So maybe they're the ones. And again, Jimmy and Jay have the Raw Tag Team Championships. What happens with that? I booked months ago with the fellas. 2 months ago, I booked the Hardys to return and somehow have a World Tag Team title match against the Usos. Here's the problem, and I want a New Day in that match too. Here's the problem: everybody's fucking injured. Creed is injured. I'm sorry, Xavier Woods is injured, and Jimmy, I think something's going on with Jimmy on the outside. We don't really know because he missed a couple weeks. I don't know if something's going on with the baby and with Naomi, if everybody's cool there, or if like what's going on. So something's going on there. The fans are kind of turning their back on Jay. They're tired of Jay and his entrance and all that bullshit, which they're about to do the same thing to Trick Williams. They finna whoop that trick the hell out of you. But enjoy it for the time being while it's still fresh. And then there's the whole problem with the SmackDown titles, tag titles, and the MFTs. Those tag titles are the tag division is in purgatory. And you got great tag teams. You got the Motor City Machine Guns. You got, freaking the Street Profits, who are just sitting on ice, apparently, not on TV right now. I mean, you got a lot of this stuff. Like I said, you got teams that the MFTs could go against. The MFTs in itself is just dead as a doornail. Nobody cares about any of those dudes outside of Solo. Solo is still one of the funniest dudes in WWE. He's hilarious, and it's like a subtle hilarious. But I just, I don't know, y'all. I'm struggling. I'm struggling because I'm struggling to find to get to find the excitement for WWE right now on this road to WrestleMania. I'm struggling to find what should come natural. Like, to me, it's WrestleMania season, baby. We're past the Royal Rumble. We're past the Elimination Chamber. There are no more PLEs until Mania. We have virtually a month and a half of just straight up TV where we will probably get one world title championship match somewhere down that line. You will also, next week, you're already getting a WWE championship match on SmackDown. And the whole purpose of that is to set up whatever's going to be at Mania. So you basically got 6 weeks now, all of March, 2 weeks in April, to basically figure out and set up WrestleMania and make fans care. And I guess, y'all, I'm losing my belief that they can make me be excited and have those butterflies for Mania. I mean, like I said, I don't know. Maybe I would have caught those butterflies last week instead of AJ retiring, that he agreed to fight Gunther, one more time at Mania. Maybe that would have done it, but Mania to me just hasn't felt special. The last special Mania was 40, where Cody really literally took over, and because of all these injuries, it's forced you, instead of really putting the onus on the future, instead of crowning Obafemi Intercontinental Champion, instead of crowning Whoop That Trick United States Champion, instead of crowning Braun Breaker your World Heavyweight Champion, instead of putting the WWE Championship on a Jacob Fatu, you're going to Old Reliable to try to sell tickets. You got to go to your Cody Rhodes. You got to go to your Randy Orton. You got to go to your Roman Reigns. You got to go to CM Punk. You got to ask Seth Rollins to rush an injury to come back. And it's just like, I think the excitement level of this Mania would have went way crazier if the new kids on the block would have gotten the spotlight. If you would have set up the feuds where it's Jacob versus Cody, where it's, Drew versus Javon Evans, where it's Obafemi taking on Brock Lesnar, which I think you still might probably get that match. Aleister Black isn't a new guy, but he's a newer face that you haven't seen as much of. Him versus Randy for the WWE. I mean, him versus Randy. Like build towards the future. Stop reverting back to the past. I applaud John Cena for leaving when he did, because he definitely could have probably gotten another WrestleMania grab or two. I applaud AJ Styles for leaving and choosing to leave at the Royal Rumble, because he definitely could have got 2 or 3 more WrestleMania grabs. I need you all to know and understand that the excitement around WrestleMania is slowly and steadily dying, between the ticket prices, between the uneventful booking, and between the reliance on the older guys to hold up your card instead of really mixing in some of these younger talent that's really over. It's like killing the card, man. And it's killing my excitement for WrestleMania season. WrestleMania season, to me, the road to WrestleMania used to be so tumultuous. I don't lie. It almost felt like WWE took a break after SummerSlam and coasted from SummerSlam all the way up until the Royal Rumble. And then at the Rumble, from Rumble to SummerSlam, I always felt like Vince cooked his best. And then like I said, you're going after SummerSlam, the dust was settled. You call up new talent, debut some new talent and stuff like that, and then kind of let them work their way through the crowd and stuff like that. But then Mania will come around and you will go crazy again. Mania season. But like, to me, y'all, Mania season is dead. WrestleMania season is dead. The road to WrestleMania is not what it used to be. And AJ Styles is on record of saying that. WrestleMania lost its luster. It's not the grandest stage of them all anymore. It's not the granddaddy of them all. It's not, the big thing that Vince made it anymore. And maybe that's by design. Maybe one day they do away with WrestleMania, with the name WrestleMania. TKO and and all of them, they have been on record as saying they need to start creating other PLEs and moving past the Vince era of things. But WrestleMania is something that is a mainstay and should be treated as the biggest show of the year. And I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I haven't felt that I have not felt that in Vegas at all. I haven't. Cody Rhodes is on record as saying this is a sleeper mania. We'll see. It's up to them to deliver. But as of right now, the road to WrestleMania, since Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship, the road to WrestleMania has been on a decline. And I'm not saying that because I'm putting that on Cody. I'm just saying we all wanted to see him finish that story. And the addition of The Rock and the way they played the fuck out of all of us, making it seem like The Rock was going to take his spot and Cody wasn't going to get a chance to finish that story. I mean, it was pure cinema. And then you had the side stories. You had Jay and Jimmy fighting each other. You had the rise of Solo happening at the same time. You had so much different things to really care about. And I just ain't felt that. I haven't felt that. Maybe they could bring that magic back. And I see other people make videos and they say like, oh, well, this is what WWE needs to do to fix things, or this is what they need to do. It's not up to me to tell them how to fix it. I'm the consumer. I'm just telling you that it sucks. It sucks. As somebody that has followed every single road to WrestleMania since 1999. Austin Rock, very first time, WrestleMania Philadelphia. It is 2026. And I'm telling you that this is the first time that in a long time, I ain't gonna lie, that WrestleMania in Arizona sucked ass too. Batista versus John Cena. That shit was horrible. And I really didn't like WrestleMania in Atlanta either. Undertaker Triple H, Miz versus John Cena. I didn't really care for that one either. But then it started building up its luster again, and Vince started cooking again. And we started kind of figuring things out. But like now we're back to this down point where I'm just like, holy shit, I could really care less. Now, obviously, I do a show. I do Tuesday nights. I do Sunday nights. I fill in on Mondays. Sometimes I fill in on Fridays. So I'm going to watch the product, and I'm invested in the product because I'm going to watch it because I want to come on here and talk to you guys about it. But like this shit, if I didn't have this podcast, I can't tell you for sure that I would watch every single episode of wrestling that's out there. I feel like I'd be lying to you if I told you that. Like I'm invested because I have a show and I have an audience that watches this shit wanting to know what I'm talking about. So like I have to then turn around and talk about this shit. But like if I didn't have y'all, I can't tell you for sure that I would fucking do this. I will watch all this stuff. Like I'm sure I watch the PLEs, but I would probably skip out on some weeks of Raw and SmackDown because they're just fucking forgettable, man. And that's sad on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is when you're supposed to cook. Especially a go-home show before Elimination Chamber. I don't know, guys. Maybe Triple H got some big surprises for us. He's going to tell us it's another new era starting. We got the Danhausen era starting. It's a new era in WWE. Triple H has really started shielding himself. That's another thing I don't like. He started really shielding himself. So he went from doing the scrums after the show, doing the scrums, which I really feel like The Rock killed the scrums when he did that fucking scrum after a Bad Blood, where he goes on after and he talks as Dwayne Johnson about his character, The Rock. That pissed me off to no end. Because I'm like, bro, at least in storyline, pretend to be the fucking Rock if you're going to show up on and do a scrum. What's the point in doing the scrum and you show up and you don't even pretend to be the Rock? Oh, no, I'm DJ right now. Anyways, so Triple H went from doing the scrums to then doing stuff out in the media, but he knew that Chicago crowd was going to be ruthless on him for that Danenhausen bullshit he pulled tonight. Kudos to him for having the guts to have Randy Orton win the Elimination Chamber, because if Cody Rhodes had won that Elimination Chamber, he definitely was going to hear about it. But we see him now not even go out into the crowd area. Him and Jackie Redmond did a post-show backstage where he just answered a couple questions from her. So he's shielding himself from this type of criticism. And again, it's not easy being the booker. It's not easy having to answer the TKO as well as then the fans. But somebody's got to hold Triple H accountable. And then somebody has to hold his booking team accountable. And somebody has to hold TKO accountable. That's why we're here. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know where this road to WrestleMania goes from here. And I really don't know what happens next. But I do know that I am underwhelmed right now for the second year in a row. And I can promise you the third year in a row, I'm going to be underwhelmed next year when they fucking go to Saudi. Outside of Donald Trump starting this war and them not feeling safe doing a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, that may be our only saving grace to get WrestleMania to stay in the States next year, and them have to break the promise of the Saudi prince. If there actually is war and is deemed unsafe for the wrestlers to go to Saudi and perform, or the wrestlers refuse to go to Saudi and perform because they don't feel safe, or if Saudi can't get The Rock. That's another saving grace. If the Saudi can't get The Rock, they will probably wait whole another year until they could get The Rock. But to me, y'all, it's just losing its luster. One way you fix it is you take WrestleMania to London. Take WrestleMania to London. You're going to have to wait until 2030 to bring WrestleMania back to Chicago, probably when the Bears finally get this shit figured out with Arlington Heights. But those two wrestling cities are hot wrestling cities. Go to London. Take WrestleMania to London and rejuvenate the business. We'll see what happens, y'all. But I appreciate y'all so much. It's your boy Virgil. Like I said, these are my thoughts. The fellas will give you their thoughts in a separate episode. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Join into the conversation. Let your voice be heard. Let your thoughts be heard. And keep those book and pencils sharp, man, and keep on